Hey guys, it's Rush G. We're back with the Punish series, and we're looking at Blanka today. So we start off with the normals. Now Blanka's one annoying character, so I'm pretty sure you're all dying to get the information out of this. Stand heavy punch is -6, but I think you have a tough time contesting with that max range. So close range, you can punish that, but I'm not sure if it's special cancelable. So just be wary if you can cancel it out of that. But yeah, that is punishable. Stand heavy punch. You wouldn't have thought so. It doesn't look like a punishable move. Likewise, the stand heavy kick is punishable. It's -5. That's one to punish at close range. Looks like it's difficult to punish at range. What's interesting is, because that's -5, at max range, as long as you can time that correctly, that should be a legit punish. Should be, he says. But I wouldn't recommend that. That's a bit risky. The stand heavy punch though, you'd have more joy punishing that because that's -6. The move is -6 on block. Ken CA, as you know, is 5-frame startup. That's actually a good punish there, but just be careful. You can special cancel that. May not be wise. His overhead is -6, but it has. He's able to make himself pretty safe in terms of spacing. You can see there, you can change. He gets 2 hits. He's definitely getting a punish there. If he gets just the last hit, that's a good idea if you're not sure if it's going to punish or not. The X Fireball. So learn your space from that punish, that is punishable. CA is a good shout there, as is EX Tatsu. That'll be a punish. B-Trigger EX Tatsu will punish that max range, I would have thought. But yeah, CA as well. As long as you get your timing right, try and get reversal timing to learn the block stun. But yeah, max range, a lot of these overheads are very difficult to punish, so just be wary of the spacing. His crouching heavy kick, I think it's a long range one again, similar to Sakura's. Some nasty block stun. So, like your Tatsu, EX Tatsu, and CA, I reckon. See there, Ken sweep. Misses. On block, max range. So, like your Tatsu, EX Tatsu, and CA. That's a common combination of punishes for sweeps. It doesn't work for carrying, it doesn't work for Birdie, and it doesn't work for, I think, Chun-Li. It's a bit tricky. I think the EX Tatsu whiffs over Chun-Li. So some characters that doesn't work for. There's other characters where you can sweep back at max range and the sweep will connect. Whereas these characters, they have a longer range sweep. Ken sweep doesn't reach. Slide. So slide is -16 at worst, but that's like, you're talking close range. Like there, like. So that's interesting. If you do the medium kick straight away, it low profiles and whiffs. That's a good punish. It's a good sample punish at close range. At max range, you've got to be careful with spacing. That's at -8 then. See, so it's very difficult to punish the slide at max range. So, not max range, but near enough max range. EXTP looks like a legit punish, but that's very risky. If you get the spacing wrong on that, and he's not as minus as you want him to be, that EXTP is not going to connect. You risk a crush counter, so I wouldn't recommend it. But if you're a little bit further in, if you're not sure whether your normal's going to catch, EXTP looks like a good shout. But any closer, you'd have to play around. It all depends on the spacing, really. I would do stand like it. Like I say, about there. That's what I would go for. But here, you don't want to risk that. That's not going to work. So it's tricky. Slides are very difficult to deal with in this game because you see the frame data, but it all depends on which active frame it lands on. If it lands on a later active frame during the animation, they're less minus. Sorry, they're less minus. Does that make more sense? They're more positive. They're still minus, but they're less frames of disadvantage on their behalf, on their side. So you've got to be careful with how you deal with them. Me personally, like I said before, up close, I'd go for the crouching medium punch in the chin buster. Mid-range, stand light kick into special. Max range, I probably wouldn't contest. Maybe just throw out the stand light kick, but that's about it. I wouldn't do anything else. Maybe stand light kick into EX fireball, but I wouldn't go nuts with a crazy punish unless your balls are big. So I think that is the normal's covered. He's got a target combo as well. Record. Which I believe is. Says stand medium kick into heavy kick. Okay, so that is minus 19 on block. That's very minus. But again, something tells me you can special cancel that. Plenty of time to punish. You can pretty much do whatever you want there. You haven't got time for a dash and a button, but you can do whatever you want. Let's just try, what's his special? I don't know what his specials are. He's a charge character. I can't play charge characters. Terrible. Let's try a medium punch ball after that. Sure, we can do something after that. Okay, you can activate, make it safe, I'm guessing. Anyone that plays Blanka would know better than me, but if he does it raw and you see him not follow up, if there is a follow up, then you know you can punish it. So that's the normals, guys. We'll move on to specials and then we'll move on to V-skill, V-trigger. What I'll do is I'll put the super with the specials. It seems a bit better formatted that way. So specials and super next. Guys, so we're doing specials now. So I've recorded a few bits to get going. The first item is his hop, so it's not quite a special, but his hop is it's a unique move to Blanka. So his hop can be grabbed during its animation, and it's also it's not strike invincible either. It's just very difficult to deal with because it can cross up. So you see, if he does hop, you can catch him, but he can recover. See there, if you're early, he's punishable. Moves like this, I like to use grab, a bit like Fang's command dash. Grab seems to be very good in these scenarios. He goes through you. You gotta be careful, that's where it's an issue. So from a distance, he hops at you. It's not a bad idea, but where he hops to the side, the only thing he can do is, I think he can hop to the other side, and if you're very late in retaliating, he can do the EX ball, which is basically his DP. That's scary because he can make himself more of a threat if you think you can pressure. So it's being quick to react to the cross up, just to check him, consider whether he's got EX meter to do the up ball invincible attack afterwards. If you're good and he's at range, you can try and grab him out of it as well. It's a tricky move to deal with. There's no easy way out of that, I'm afraid. One of the most annoying moves in his arsenal are his ball attacks. Now, what's interesting about this is the light punch ball, close range. So there, Ken can dash and do light kick. At range, it doesn't work. So rule of thumb is you can't punish any of his balls. That sounds well, doesn't it? You can't punish any of his ball attacks if they hit later in the animation. That makes sense. If they use light punch ball, which is that one there, and that land it close, you can punish it. If we use heavy kick ball now, so there's no sound indication as to which one he's using, so that's very difficult in terms of distinguishing which one's which as well. This move, I think, if you're up close. Oh, sorry, it's the other way around. Sorry, apologise. So the heavy kick ball down to light, so the lighter ones are more safe. It's like the heavy kick one is the more unsafe version. So let's try it from a distance. Okay, look. So yeah, the heavy kick one, you can get a punish on. But it's usually the light punch one they use. The light punch one's one. I thought it was the other way around, sorry about that. The light punch one is the one that's tricky to challenge. See, even there, struggling to hit him. So you don't challenge that one. You can, let's have a look. Can dash after all of them, but it's what you do afterwards which is that's the scary factor. Can you dash in and press a button? Can you grab? Can you punish? That's the risk depending on spacing. So there's no real way to deal with those. You just got to have a keen eye to see which version it is. In the corner though, if they use any of those attacks, they're very punishable in the corner because he doesn't get the pushback. He hasn't got anywhere to go. So if I do the light punch ball now, it's already on light punch ball. You can't do that. You can see he's in a bad spot there. So don't let them get away with it if you point blank in the corner. If you're like there, You might have to resort to dash forward, stand light kick. But anywhere further out. Just be cautious of the spacing. That's the main moral story there. EX ball, I'm not too sure. Does he bounce off you? Okay, he bounces off you there. It's the same story in the corner. They use it point blank, you can punish it. But at range, Ken can't do anything, so don't worry about that. I believe actually, go back. Yeah, so light punch ball, if you're in V trigger, you can use EX Tatsu, and I think it punishes at all ranges. So that works. EX Tatsu does work. I don't think CA works in the same way. So if you're in V-trigger, you've got an answer to his ball on block, but it's a very difficult move to punish. There's a lot of inconsistencies, so just be cautious. Let's just try that against EX ball. I don't think it works against EX ball. Okay, it seems to be consistent there, which is good. That's nice, that's nice. Okay, so we know we've got some sort of answer. Now the rainbow ball attack that he has, these are all plus 3 at worst scenario for Ken. He's -3, so Blanka on the other hand is +3. So don't challenge after any of them. You'd probably want to do V reversal, or if you're a madman, EXDP, something stupid. So that's the rainbow. That also includes EX. The EX rainbow ball is +3 at worst case scenario, +7 at best. So it's a scary move that. You can try and anti-air that move, but Blankers are quite smart now. Or they try and bait out the DP. So just be wary of that as well. Stand medium kick is okay. Sometimes it trades. Just be careful. So yeah, it's a difficult move to deal with that. His up balls are all heavily punishable. Let's have a quick look at those. Why does that look like? Ah, I see, okay, alright. There's a lot of recovery on those. That's the light punch one. He whiffs it. And the EX one, you all know this is crush counterable. So you get that. He has the command grabs. Oh, so okay, so he can adjust where he lands with this. guessing with the light punch one, you can't. Well, okay, so the light, medium, heavy control how far he goes. With the EX, you can change that. Okay. So this is essentially a command grab. So you can either anti-air it, I wouldn't recommend. It's best to do to jump. You can jump back as well. If you jump back, it can be okay. It's all it gets really, isn't it? You jump forward, also get you out of the way. The EX one, I tend to jump back to get out of the way, whereas I think jumping for... No, it's going to be neutral jump, isn't it? So yeah, it's a command grab. It's like Birdie's EX Dolphin Dive. You just got to react to the sound cue and deal with it. I wouldn't recommend anti-airing it, because if you're late on the anti-air, you're in trouble. It's doable, but you know, you can get flashy combos off the crouching heavy punch, crush counter. But if you don't get that in time, you're in trouble, so be careful of that. And then, just to mention, a noteworthy mention, the electricity, the normal electricity is +2 on block. So that's good for Blanka, not for us. The EX is +6, so there's no punish to be had there. His super, as we mentioned, is -36, so he's you can get a dash in after his super. He's a crouching heavy punch, which is quite nice for a bigger punish. So let's give that a try now. Oops. Let's give that a whirl. So after the 2 slashes, go for your punish. Whoops. Trying to do crouching heavy punch into heavy punch DP, but I'm so bad at doing that link. So you can get a dash crouching heavy punch if you want to, but you don't really need to if he's point blank. I think that covers his specials, so we'll move on to V skill and then his V triggers. So looking at Blanka's V skill, his V skill is where he lies down and he has the option to either hop or I think he has an attack where it's like an upward, I don't know what you call it, it's like a launcher basically. So this is the launcher. It's unsafe on block that, so that's -8. So you get your Lion Breaker punish. Get your timing right. Not too sure. Shinbuster gives you a lot more time to punish. If he goes for the hop, he just goes over your head basically. Well, it's a bit like Sakura's hop, but they usually use both in combos really rather than raw, because they're quite easy to deal with both of them. So just remember the punch is punishable. His V trigger one basically powers up all his ball attacks. So this isn't the crazy V trigger. This is the more sort of sane V trigger of the two. So yeah, all his Blanka balls get powered up. They're still pretty punishable. It's saying here that his light, medium, heavy, and EX Blanka balls are -36 now. His rainbow balls are +5 worst case, +7 best case scenario. So we'll look at his Blanka balls in V trigger 1. I don't know if they actually change in terms of properties, but -36 now it's saying. So you should get a dash punish on all of them. as long as the spacing's okay. Before we do that, the move he gets in V-Trigger 1, he gets a sonic roll sort of thing. I don't know what you want to call it, the sonic spin. So if he doesn't charge it, it's punishable on block. It's -8, I believe. So again, you get an 8-frame punish. You can go for chin bust, whatever you want to go for. If he goes for the full roll, he actually guard breaks if you let him fully charge it. So you don't want him to do that. If he's rolling in front of you like that, just DP him out of it. I don't know if normals work. Let's try. Yeah, I reckon heavy punch DP or EX DP. Use invincible frames to beat that. If you haven't got any meter, oops, heavy punch DP is the one. Don't fireball because he has projectile invincibility. Let's have a look at his ball attacks and see how they change. That's the light punch ball. Yeah, so that's really punishable now. Should even get line breaker. So remember, this is V-Trigger 1. Okay, so line breaker is a good shout there. Or you can do dash stand heavy punch. I'm just trying to think. One thing I didn't mention. It's unfortunate, but yeah, I'll cover it here. Take him out of V-Trigger. His light punch ball, the regular one. Now, you've probably seen that happen quite a lot. When he does that and he doesn't actually make contact with you, but he goes back to neutral, that's punishable during the recovery frames if you get the spacing right. That's the sort of thing you should do if you see that and it stops in front of you. As soon as he ends, use 2 light hits into special to punish that. Sorry I didn't mention that earlier on. That should be in the special section. But it's a worthwhile item to note when he's not in V-Trigger. But ignoring all that, his V-Trigger 1 balls all become more powerful. But as you can see there, they're pretty punishable. The ones that go vertically across, horizontally across the screen are punishable. The vertical ones, so the rainbow ones are still plus, and the ones, the up balls, the essentially dragon punch ones, are punishable as well. The EX crush counter punishable. I believe it's the same. Should try it actually. Try that. So the EX one, still crush counterable. Looks like he doesn't spend any EX meter at all. So when I do the EX, he spends no meter. And then normal spends no meter. So it looks like, I think what happens is they all become the same. So all the up balls become, the frame there is exactly the same. The balls, the horizontal ones become the same. The rainbow ones are the same. And the up balls are the same. So yeah, all the up balls become crush counterable. So yeah, like I said, all his balls become better, do more damage, probably more juggle potential, but they are more punishable if they were punishable before. So that's the horizontal one and the up balls. The up balls giving you a crush counter for all. I'm going to try one more thing. Should have tried this before. I don't think his normal up ball is crush counterable. No. So it's just the EX that's crush counterable. Okay, cool. Yeah, that should have been in the other section, but never mind, we've covered it off anyway. So the last thing for Blanka is his V-Trigger 2. Now this is going to be a pain because I don't know how to use it at all. So I'm going to record them first and then we'll tackle them together. Actually guys, I just remembered, before we finish on V-Trigger 1, but I haven't touched on, I think he gets a different, let me have a look. I think he gets a charged up version of the thunder, the lightning. Give this a try. Okay, so I'm terrible at doing like mash moves like that, but we haven't touched on this, so this is, better get the frame data out. So if I recall correctly, so we don't really cover things that are plus in this series, but we can talk about it because it's matchup knowledge that you need here. So his normal electric, I hate it when I do things in the wrong order in this video series, but never mind. Where is it? So his electricity, normal electricity, is +2 on block. His EX electricity is +6 on block. Now in V-Trigger 1 his electricity changes, so he gets another move in V-Trigger 1, so it's an additional move. So he gets the roll-in shave thing, he gets the buffed Blanka balls, but he also gets, I want to say buffed, I don't know if it's buffed, it probably is better in some regards, but his electricity, the normal and EX, becomes +2 on block, but I think it causes a juggle if it hits. I think that's why it's more scary when it's in V-Trigger 1. So let's have a look at that now. Let's look at the normal and let's look at the EX. Now I don't think that was any different, was it? I think it's the same. According to the frame data it looks the same, so I think electricity, normal and EX, becomes just the same move. It does look like it according to the frame data. 13 frame startup, multiple hits, multiple active frames, recovery is 12, and yeah, on block it's 2, +2. So yeah, I think it's the same thing. So let's have a look at that move now. So yeah, +2 on block, but on hit, so it causes a knockdown. So I imagine it can cancel that into things like the Blanka ball or something like that. So that's interesting. Just quickly wanted to cover that before we move on to V-Trigger 2. So just a reminder, the normal electricity is +2, EX is +6, that's ridiculous. And his V-Trigger 1 electricity, it causes a stomp, he moves forwards, and he gets a knockdown on hit, which I think can be juggled. The normal ones, where are they? To be fair, the normal ones cause knockdowns as well, so I'm not going to go into too much how the combos work for electricity, but it's just good to know the frame data and that he has that move available. So we'll cover that off. Let's go on to V-Trigger 2 now. Rightio guys, so we're on the last section of Blanka for the punish video. His V-Trigger 2, this is the one that people panic about the most, they don't want to deal with, and it is a pain in the backside if I'm completely honest. So what his V-Trigger 2 does is it gives him access to another move. It's the Beast Cannon move, so any roll attack, so his rolling attacks do not change, can be cancelled into the Beast Cannon. Basically the ball cancels, so he can cancel. So say if he does, for example, any ball, so he does the horizontal ball attack, he can cancel that on hit or on block into 3 continuous rolls, and the rolls can go in 8 directions. You can go up, down, left, right, or any of the diagonals, up, left, up, right, down, back, down, right, depending on where he is. Now he can cancel any Blanka ball into this, so the up ball, which is like essentially his DP, the horizontal ball, the rainbow ball, they can all be cancelled into the Beast Cannon attack. Now, the Beast Cannon attack, the frame data varies. It depends on which ball he cancels from, which direction he goes into, and how high he is on the cancel. So there's many variables. I've been told that the frame data on block varies from around -2 to +2, but take that with a pinch of salt. There is no precise frame data for this, unfortunately, because you can have the frame data down, but then in a match you're never going to know how plus or minus it is. You kind of have to respect it with V-reversal. If you want to disrespect it, EXDP. Depends on what Blanka's going to do. If he's got meter and he cancels and ends up grounded, there's a chance that he's going to do the EX up ball afterwards and then try and cancel that to make himself safe. We'll talk about that a bit later. So it's a very tricky V-trigger to deal with, but there are a few things I've figured out which I'll go over now. So what I've found is if he does a vertical ball to get in, so I set Ken to block. This is what the move looks like. So he activates, so he can move around the screen in all different directions. And you can do that 3 times per collision with I don't think you can do it on whiff. No, you have to make contact. So if Blanka is at this range and he wants to use the Blanka ball to get in, the horizontal one, if you'll crouch block him and he wants to go behind you, it'll go over your head. If Ken's stand blocking, which is interesting, stand guard, see how he blocked the second hit? So there is a way to sort of avoid that if he's at range, but then he can do that. And what I did there was I did a diagonal down forward ball, so it doesn't cross up, but he ends up on the other side. It's a true block string. Ken can't interrupt, well, no character can interrupt the if he does a vertical one. Again, it may depend on range, I guess, but if he does it from distance but does like the heavy one, that's a true block string. Like, you can't interrupt that. But then if he does the up ball, which is, I forget which one that is, the rainbow ball. Now what I've been told is by some of our Blanka experts, crouch and medium kick into, so up ball, rainbow ball's this one. It's the one where it looks like he goes up in the air, but he actually lunges towards you. So the up ball, this is the one where you cross up, so you've got to block the other way. If they're at close range, expect them to use the up ball. So like either an attack, like that for example, or maybe a light into up ball, I don't know. I'm not too hot on Blanka, to be fair. But I believe that's a cross up. I have to test this out to be sure. So this doesn't look right at all, this move. Let me just check. I did try this out previously. So he's got the Blanka ball, which is the vertical one. He's got rainbow, he's got up ball. You know what? No, I'm wrong. It's that one. It's the up ball. It's the light kick up ball. So what Blanka up toe, you completely ignore what I just said. If they're at range and they've got V-trigger 2, they're probably going to go for the light up ball. And they want to cancel that. If they want the cross up, that's the cross up. So if they do light up ball close range and then down forward into beast cannon, that's the one that crosses up. So I think the usual scenario is crouch and medium kick into light up ball, and that's the cross up. I don't know why it's not. Let's see if I can get Ken to get hit by that. You see that? So you saw it crossed up there. So it's pretty difficult to do in training mode. But if they go for a ball close and they're going to go for like a really derpy, nasty setup, it's probably going to be the cross-up ball, the cross-up one, which comes after the light kick up ball, if that makes sense. So based on the information I've gained now, if Blanka's at range, I'm going to try my best to stay away from him, but I know he's going to do the vertical ball to get in. So I'm going to be crouch blocking where I can when they're doing that vertical, sorry, the horizontal ball, but apologies, yeah, the horizontal one, the Blanka ball. But even then, they can down back beast cannon behind you, so you've got to be ready for that as well. It's probably more likely they'll do that and go across. I'm sure Blanka players know that, but you just want to stay out of range. Once Blanka's in on you and makes contact, that's where the trouble starts. If they're at close range, they're probably going to go for the cross-up setup, so just watch out for that. The only other thing to cover with Blanka in V-Trigger 2 is his EX up ball, so that's the wake up invincible reversal attack he has. That one. Now that can be crush counted on block, but he can cancel this into other, you know, beast cannon cancels to not make it safe, but to make it safer. He's still crush counterable, but he can basically ground himself quicker by using all escape, using the beast cannon. You can see there, he can escape, he can go down to the floor. You could do that, you could attack after it. If you're not ready to deal with it, you're in trouble. But what's interesting is, if I set Ken to do guard reversal, stand heavy punch. Now I believe this works at all ranges. I need to test this. I'll do it now actually after this. When Blanka's in recovery of the EX up ball, there's a moment, a few frames, I say a few frames, quite a few frames that Ken can still crush counter. The thing is, or anyone can crush counter, any character, but you don't want Blanka to land on the ground, so you don't want a grounded crush counter, because by that time he would have escaped using the beast cannon. You want to crush counter him while he's mid-air. Crouching heavy punch isn't very good because it's quite stubby. Stand heavy kick isn't very good because it's too slow. Stand heavy punch seems to work pretty well from my testing. So let's give that a try now. For the guard all. Now if you watch, if I don't cancel it, that's what happens. You obviously want him to be grounded before you go for the stand heavy punch crush counter. If I try and cancel it, if I try and go back, you can see I'm mashing it and I can't escape. Now we'll do it together. If you do that as Ken, you want to convert that into a crush counter combo, and it does work. So you can do stand heavy punch, you can mash it, do V skill, and you can cancel it into dragon punch, CA. I think EX Tatsu may work as well. Just don't overextend yourself when you do this, but it does seem to work. So let's give that a try now. And to be fair, that's all I've really got for V-Trigger 2, if I'm honest. So let's give that a go. Just basically the point of the rule of thumb there is, do not let him get away with that. It's not real. There's probably some flashy combos he can get off of this situation, so I'll have to have a play around in the lab when I get some time. So if I set Blanka, so we'll get him to mash the back beast cannon after the EX invincible attack. That's on. Right. Close range. That's what we're talking about. V skill into special. Okay, so maybe don't do EX Tatsu, it's not wise. Oh nice, that's actually very good. Get your timing right, just mash it. No. A nice feature combo there with some good Oki. Oops, let's put him back in center. Don't know if this will work, let's give it a try. Not bad, it's not really worth the meter in my opinion, but you can do that as well. So you get the idea. If you want the kill. Gotta be quick on this. I'm gonna try and get 2 hits of heavy punch DP before the CA. Yeah, you might have to go for 1 hit. Probably safer to do that. But don't let him become grounded because it's not going to work. See, he escaped if you wait. Let's try at range and see if it works at range. I think it does. So you can see there, it still works at range as well. Interesting. It's just out of range, but you can see there's probably some serious experimentation that can be had here with a bit of imagination. Yeah, that's how I play around, but I'm sure there's some wacky setups. But really guys, that's all I've got for you for Blanka. I know there's probably some things I've missed out. There's probably more detail to be had from, like, you know, basically Blanka mains. So I'll ask questions, I'll try and get more information, especially on the V-Trigger too. But if you want, my suggestion is, if you want more on his V-Trigger setups, especially V-Trigger 2, check out Wolfgang on Twitter. I recently tweeted it out. He's got like a little text section. So Wolfgang, if you don't know him, he's a top Blanka player. He's in the US. I'll put a link in the video description to his Twitter and to some of his videos, so they could be really helpful if you need more information. But like all the videos, if you've got any more tips that I haven't covered, any advice, any corrections to this video, please just shout out, put it in the comments, and we'll discuss therefore. So guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. It's a bit of a long one, but I've tried to cover as much as I can to help you out in this awful matchup. Cool, I shall let you go about your business. Catch you later on. Take care.